told Foxy it's your birthday, not for real, just for play. This is Cree Summer, and Moana Nui will be right back.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this month's edition of Moana Nui After Dark presents Geek Speak On Sports. I am James, your host for the evening. I will bring in our illustrious panel. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you all doing this evening?
Hey.
Bonjour.
Pretty damn good.
Pretty damn good. All right. Before we get started, I do want to say happy LGBTQ Pride Month. For those of you who are or allies, support in any way you see fit.
Word.
Because I know there are month-long celebrations going on, deservedly so. And I know there's a pub crawl coming up at the end of this month here in Atlanta, and I just might find myself down there.
Yo.
Pub crawl. Ooh.
Pub crawl. Yes, pub crawl.
Shout out to the girls, the gays, the them, the theys. There's this song on Instagram. I don't know the guy that does it, but it's a bop. I'm gonna send it to y'all later. He's like, for the girls, for the gays, for the thems and the them and the days. I mean, I'll be in my house like, ah! But I'm glad they got more popular music now. It's great.
Yeah.
Sweet.
What, Candaysee? What I do?
That the girl? Go ahead.
It's a great song. I like it.
Anything that makes you happy makes me happy.
Yay!
I do try to find my little corners of happiness where I can.
All right, first topic, which will be a short one because nothing's happened since the draft, to my knowledge. NFL news. Anybody got anything? Anybody going once, going twice? Other than
Marshawn Lynch is still my forever puppy dog.
Has anybody seen the video of Marshawn with two Karens at his football camp?
Yes.
That I'm surprised that video is still making the rounds, but I mean, considering it's Marshawn, you know.
Is that what you say making the rounds? Is that not new? Because this is my first time seeing it.
Oh no, it's a couple of years old, isn't
It's
it?
several years old.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
It is several years old.
But for the folks that are like, you know what, I missed that. What are you talking about? He's rough on the kids. You know, he'll cuss kids out on the field and everything, but he treats them like a coach, and he's universal about it. He doesn't pull punches, but he also doesn't play favorites. And a couple of people who felt he should be nicer to their children wanted to give him shit about it. And he was like, I mean, do you have a man with you? And he wasn't trying to be sexist. And they tried to make it to be that, like, oh, he's trying to say I don't understand the sport because I'm not a man. No, he's telling you that a lot of men who play sports understand this coach player dynamic of being rough. And so do you have a man with you? Because they weren't listening to him. So he was hoping some dude that was with him would explain it. And they took it as you don't talk to women. And he kept trying to say, no, that's not what I'm saying. And I really didn't appreciate the way they treated my man because he's my man. But also, Marshawn doesn't have a mean bone in his body. He'll fuck you up. He might fight you. You know, he'll definitely shoulder check you. And then help you up and buy you some biscuits. Like, he's that dude. But the way that they try to play him funny or play him for stupid, you know, and clip it so that it sounded like he didn't want to speak to them. I'm glad that he persisted to show the whole thing. And I'm glad that they did not. So the continuing story is not he was being sexist or anything. It was these women tried it and failed.
Yeah, because there are just certain things you won't understand about a thing unless you have participated in the thing, whatever the thing is.
Right.
And those women were not football players.
Right.
Because I would be willing to bet if they were football players, because we do have a few women football players, and I've seen some
even
leagues.
if they played sports competitively.
Thank you, Joy. That's what I was going to say. Sports, period. And they
Yeah.
didn't seem like they played sports, organized sports anyway, at any point in their life. Because whether it's little league, high school, college,
step team, band, all of it. Yeah.
It's some organized activity where there is a coach, a mentor, and an adult leader of children. you're going to get cussed out at some point between when you start and when you finish.
I've seen kids get cussed out on church league teams. So it's not, I mean, you're going to get cussed out by the coach. It's just part of the sport. Your coach is going to cuss you out.
Look, I'm going to come out and say, I used to be a coach of a step team at Jones High School in Orlando, Florida. And one day they were feeling themselves because they had placed in a previous show. So they weren't acting right in practice. So I lined them up and told all of them in which particular way they sucked. You suck at that. You suck at this. All the way down the line, they all sniff, cry. I said, go home. We're not practicing today. The next day, the teacher, who was my, liaison, because I didn't work at the school, came in and sat them down and said, people say things sometimes that, they say in the moment of anger, and we all need patience. And, we could probably have things we want to say to each other. And so they were all like, yeah, we'll try hard, et cetera. And she was like, Miss Joy, is there anything you want to say to the girls about yesterday? I said, yeah, you know what? I would like to say that I meant everything I said. I don't take nothing back. And if you want to be on this team, meet me outside. If you don't, go home. They all came outside. I still get Happy Mother's Day cards from them girls.
There you go.
Candaysee, you okay?
I'm over here just, I'm the happy, bubbly, yay, let's do so. I'm serious. But the thing is, I played sports too. So it really is just like you get up, dust yourself off, and get it together. Like, I've never actually had a coach that had to talk to me that way. But I mean, I've seen coaches have to talk to some other people that way because it gets them going.
Yeah.
It just depends. Like you find which route is going to work for the actual child. And so
I always start off with
telling everybody, you suck at this and you suck at this and you suck at this. Now, I would have been crying like a little baby, but I would have came back and I would have met you outside.
That's exactly what happened.
In a different way, though.
And you know what? I always think about all these parents out here. Actually, since I deal with a lot of like Gen X and boomers and stuff that are in leadership positions, and they're like, these kids today are so soft. You mean your child?
Right.
You did this.
The ones that you raised?
That same Karen that was messing with Marshawn Lynch was going to be wondering later on why all the kids in her son's generation are so weak and bringing their mothers to interviews and stuff like that because you raised them that way.
Yeah.
Your fault. I should have had kids because they'd be so running the world right now. Because they would have been taking care of themselves since they was 2. It would have been great.
You would have forced them to be latchkey kids, just like we
were. Right. Look, you got a tooth, you can cook a steak. Go outside, hit the roof.
Oh goodness.
Oh God.
2 years old on the grill. They be like, your child's by the grill. And you're like, I know, I told him to cook me a steak.
The fire's low. Come on. It's just smoke now. He's fine.
Oh God. I can't.
I get little baby sandals. There's actually a video going on right now of like a kid with a baby grill. Kid on the,
yes, I've seen it.
Yep. Oh,
turn him up right.
All right, so that's it for NFL news. Other than training camps and players getting fined for not showing up, voluntary, whoop-de-doo. Yeah. All right. Next, NBA. The finals are currently going on. Game 3 is tonight. The Boston Celtics are currently leading 2-0 over the Dallas Mavericks. In other NBA news, basketball great Jerry West passed away at the age of 86 today. For those who are too young to have seen him play, there is like some YouTube footage out there of him playing.
He's amazing.
He is the logo. For those who did not know, the NBA logo silhouette, that is Jerry West. Yeah. He was the architect that put together the early 2000s Lakers of Shaq and Kobe. He is also responsible for the current construction of the LA Clippers of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. He put those two together on that Clippers team. So he has built some very solid basketball teams over his career, phenomenal basketball player in his day. His imprint on the game is undeniable for those who follow the game astutely. He will be missed by friends and family and colleagues alike, competitors, and anyone who has love for the game.
He earned the title of icon.
Yeah,
real.
He really did.
Absolutely.
I'm really mad, though, that you said for those of you who never got to see him play, like we all weren't either not born or babies when he was
We got an
playing.
audience.
It's called archive footage.
Right.
Sometimes they show games on
No,
replay.
I'm just saying the way you said it though, the way you said it was like when you say to someone, well, you might not have seen, Larry Bird play. I understand that one. Or like you might not, like, to the little babies, you might not have seen, I don't know, you might not have seen Jordan play because they didn't see Jordan play in person. They just saw I understand that, but the way you said it was like we all should have been there when he was on the court. And I'm gonna tell you now,
I watched highlights of him playing growing up.
I was born in 1980, so I don't know about that.
You just a baby.
I was gonna say he played his whole career. He played his whole career and coached before I was even born.
What's that mean? I'm just a baby.
Just a baby.
But I will say, that was one thing that I actually learned, not from his death, of course, but it was a reminder that he, is the actual, person.
But yeah, the NBA logo.
Yeah, the NBA.
Uh-huh. But yeah, he will be missed, of course. They did in the pregame of the finals today. Everybody kind of told a little story. I was looking at some of them like, you weren't even like the girl who's the moderator. I was like, ma'am, you younger than me, but okay.
Tell the story about the TV show. I don't think
she told the story. As a matter of fact, I don't think she actually told the story, but I was just kind of like, she was like, yeah, so we're going to tell. And I was like, oh, the only person maybe like Stephen A. I forgot who else was up there, but yeah. Mm-hmm. But it was awesome.
Most of that panel they have up there for the finals has had some correspondence with Jerry West one way or the other. Definitely Stephen
probably not as a player, but definitely
because they were reporters. If any former players were on the panel, they probably came across him when they played the Lakers while he was still running the franchise, or maybe when he was running the Grizzlies or the Clippers, or something like that. So they come across him and dealings that way. So
I wish he would have, ran the Knicks. But anyway, I digress. Next, we're going to the next segment. Sorry.
Well, there's one other piece of NBA news that I think I personally think is kind of exciting. Those guys right there. Hold on, where is it? Number one draft pick, first time ever in franchise history.
You know what? I'll give you congratulations for that one. Congratulations to the Atlanta Hawks, number one draft pick.
Oh, is that what you were saying? Okay. Yes. Come on now. Maybe
let's just use it properly.
I was about to say, in the words of RuPaul,
I wasn't going to go there, but since you mentioned it.
Oh, I'm going to go. James, when have I ever pulled any punches with any of my teams? For as long as you've known me, do I pull punches with my teams?
No,
y'all got the number one. Y'all got the number one draft pick, and ain't nobody worth picking number one this year.
So who knows what we're gonna do with it? But first time in franchise history,
it might as well be picked 5 or 10.
Traded for 3 round 3s or something.
Do what the Patriots used to do: trade for more picks later.
Yes.
But yeah, that was all I wanted to throw out there.
But yes, kudos to the Hawks for getting the number one pick. Oh man, next topic I want to get into. Negro League stats have been added to MLB records. Now,
hell yeah.
Long time overdue is an understatement, but also understand this is a 2-year plus and still ongoing process. Who is that, Furious? I can't really see it.
So I'm actually not sure who's in this one because I haven't opened it up yet.
What is it?
Got 2. Well, shit, my background's not making them. Okay, there we go. I've got 2. I haven't opened them yet, so I don't know who's in these boxes, but I've actually kind of been waiting, and I think now that they've added the stats, I think now I might open them, but I'm just like...
Are those like Negro League's trading cards?
No, they're figures.
Oh, okay.
Figures. Okay, yeah. Cool. So, yeah, that has changed the records, all-time records, mind you, of some significant stats that baseball historians, some will accept, some will lose their shit over.
The usual suspects will lose their shit.
Of course. Now, I will say this, because I pretty much stopped watching baseball with any sort of concern or regard roughly 20-ish years ago. And I will say up to that point that when you're watching baseball on TV, you know when a commentator is a true student of the game. When they talk about things way back when, like in baseball times, like before even they were born, and they will mention players outside the major leagues. Like they will mention Negro League players as far as all-time greats, and that their stats should be added. I have heard broadcasts where that has happened. The career batting average list now, 50% of the top 10 are Negro League players.
Yeah.
By which I mean they spent their entire career in the Negro League. So that is one of the changes, because number one is now Josh Gibson, not Ty Cobb.
And the thing that gets me is people like to say, well, if they were in the league, if they were in the
Major Leagues,
Major League Baseball, they wouldn't have those stats. Yes, they would. Because when the Major League Baseball players would come and play the Negro League, they would get their ass handed to them routinely.
And that's the other thing I wanted to bring up. That's the other thing I wanted to bring up. So I did some digging for stats. Exhibition games played between the Negro Leagues and the Major Leagues, whether it was the minor league, major league teams that they threw out there because they only had one or two actual major leaguers on it, those still counted, or all-star games that they played. It is a 65% win percentage for Negro Leagues over major leagues.
That's getting your ass handed to you regularly. Yes.
And it got to the point to where the major leagues basically stopped doing it because they were losing so much.
There's a history of that. There's a history of that in all sports, where if the people in power don't see people like them winning, they change the rules.
Yep.
No, this is going to sound like it's way out there, but archery in the Olympics used to be a unisex sport, and the women kept winning.
Until a woman won. Yes. Matter of fact, a woman won the first time it was that way, that they allowed them to compete. And it was like, yeah, this ain't right. So we got to split it up. Men and women now, men and women. But yeah, same principle. And look, for all sports, there is a point to where I'm not even gonna lie. I don't discount people who played the sport before integration, but during the days of heightened segregation in this country, I kind of don't like acknowledging the stats then when you banned an entire group of people from playing on a professional level. So football, basketball, baseball before a certain point just doesn't really, like, I don't care. Like Babe Ruth never played against the best players in the country because segregation.
Yeah.
So it would have been nice to see Babe Ruth go up against Satchel Paige.
Right. This is a microcosm. This is why they hate critical race theory, because they're trying to do the same thing in history writ large. Like if we have corrected Major League Baseball history and said, let's put in the best of the best on a merit-based scale and say, based on their abilities, here's how it falls out. All of a sudden, you got your diversity because we're in the top 5. That's 50-50 basically of the top 10. And I don't know how it falls out the rest of that. Trying to do the same thing with history as a whole in the United States. And they are losing their shit. They out here trying to elect a convict, just to stop us from saying we've been here and we just as good as you, And it's easier to accept in sports because they can relegate us to just, brutish oafs with muscles. But when you start saying, actually, we invented most of the shit y'all make money on right now. Oh, no. Woke, wokeism. I was going to burn it down. Burn the whole town to the ground. They're going to, I'm angry all the time, y'all. I'm working on it. I really am.
It's okay. It's just like there's one stat that they threw out recently, and I forget who their pick was, but it was like the college football coach with the highest winning percentage. And the first thing I said to myself was, it's Eddie Robinson.
Eddie Robinson, right.
But he only coached at HBCU, so he didn't count.
It's still.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right. It's still
college
football, because when you broaden it to college football as a whole and you don't put any quantifiers on it, and that's the way you phrase the question, the answer is Eddie Robinson, not Bobby Bowden, not Bear Bryant or anybody else that you want to bring up. That's just not the answer. and it's Eddie Robinson by a mile. No one else is remotely close. The man has like over 800 wins.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. You know,
You understand. You understand.
I don't want to.
I don't want to. We can understand and refuse to accept.
It's just like all those people that are mad right now because the new Star Wars show mostly has people of color and women.
The same people that was mad when this same girl played a character that was portrayed as black in the book in Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, yes,
described as brown skin, coily hair. I read the book and understood that district was the Black District.
Black District, right?
It was easy to see. And then the tweets that came out when the movie was out. I remember seeing it. This one girl tweeted, "Am I wrong that I don't care if she dies now because she's not white?" Like, wow. How can they cast this girl? They said she's supposed to be innocent. So you're saying black women, black girls are not innocent because they're not white? You can go straight to hell with that. But now here we are again, 10, 15 years later, doing the same thing with the same girl. You think they would learn? And I don't like that they misquoted her, or they took it out of context where she talked about the hate you give,
right,
which is about police brutality. And she said, white people crying is the goal. And they try to make it seem like her saying it about the acolyte. You know what? You know what? I'm talking to y'all, subset of white people who make the rest of them look bad. Y'all need to stop. You're making your people look bad. Give it up.
This is why I call them the usual suspects, because anytime I've struggled to separate the good ones from the bad ones, I'm just like the usual suspects. Yeah, it's the usual suspects.
Well, while we're on baseball still, Joy, let's get to your topic first.
Yes.
And I will.
Y'all, do you have anything to show? Or is it just me talking?
No, I got something to show.
Okay, sure.
So here's the little clip here. It says, and this is from an IG feed, so hopefully the sound comes through. So Japanese baseball player Chusei Manami went viral a couple of weeks ago for this absurd throw. There are several absurd throws.
How you throw somebody out from the outfield, yo?
I mean, on a rope.
And no cutoff man either.
No.
What cutoff man? Here's another one.
All the way back into fence.
This is going to third base. Infielders need not apply.
Right.
Do we know how old this young man is?
24.
I got a double. No, you don't.
I wonder how many calls is he getting from MLB teams here in America to try and get him to come here to play.
I hope he never comes here. I hope he stays with his mama family in Japan.
I kind of hope he comes here, fleeces somebody out of some obscene amount of money, and then immediately goes back.
That would be great too. But what I noticed about this, first of all, that dude's arm, they say his arm is a rocket. His arm is a cannon. Because and what I also like, if you notice in this footage, none of his teammates are surprised when he throws from outfield to home. They waiting on it because they know he can do it. He is probably the star, one of the stars of that team. I don't want to discount the other players that have made it that far, but the trust that they have in him, the celebration that they give him, and he's got his own, because his father is black, so he got his little swag with it and everything. And they celebrate all of that. And I would hate to see him come here and be reduced and shrunken and disregarded and all the other things that go along with trying to make it here when you're not a certain aesthetic. I hope he never comes here. Or I hope he comes here with his team and beats the brakes off the White Sox.
Oh,
you gotta stop looking at me like that.
The only reason why I said that, the only reason why my face went like this is because you know, my guy who is sitting over here, he is a huge White Sox fan.
Oh, my bad. I just picked a random team. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just random. I figured because you know.
White in it. I'm sorry.
But
Red Sox. Of the Red Sox.
I'm glad you didn't say the Mets. And
No.
We're glad you didn't say the Braves. So you knew what not to say. You just didn't realize there might have been just a little more. Right. Mm-hmm.
I thought I was out of the landmines. I stepped on one right before I left.
You kind of were. I get you. You were out of the landmines of, you know, Atlanta and the New York teams. So you were just making, you know, you just picked a team. Just
yeah. It was unintentional.
I know. It's sad though, because the White Sox, they're the worst team in baseball right now. So you could have just said somebody else.
Well, shots fired.
No, it's not shots fired. They really are. Like, their record is the way. Okay. I was just saying. So
I mean, so it wouldn't be hard to beat the brakes off of them if you did come here. But I mean, you said they're the worst team. It'd be the easiest beat, right? I'm just saying.
The irony of the White Sox team name is that their primary color is black.
Right. Oh, and just a little tidbit on the little boy who threw the ball. My baseball expert over here said, "Hey, Bo Jackson did that some years ago."
I mean, yeah, I remember Bo doing that, but
I remember Bo Jackson.
I mean,
you don't remember him doing that?
No,
I mean, I remember Bo Jackson ran every
White
ball.
Sox, by the way.
So he played like every sport. I remember the whole Bo knows everything commercials that were out for a bit, but I didn't know that he threw. But I mean, you know, that explosive speed and that arm is amazing. So hats off to Bo Jackson for doing it earlier. But you know, he ain't playing no more. So right now I'm looking at
right. We don't want him to come either unless he comes to play for the Mets.
There you go. Yes.
And have his career wasted. I mean, damn.
Hey.
Thought I was firing shots. Yo.
You're right. You are right, though. Right now, at the moment, we are in a rebuilding phase.
I mean, I'm about to say, because y'all got rid of everybody last year.
I know. So that's why we're in a rebuilding stage. Do you know, Joy, how old this young man is? We can
24.
go and get it.
24.
Oh, that's great, and then maybe he won't.
Did you say that we're getting?
That
You're just claiming him already.
Speak it into being. Manifest it.
All I'm saying is that as long as he doesn't have any gambling issues like some other people in baseball from across
that can be your mantra, because his last name is Manami. So manifest Manami into
Can I say Mama say Mama sa Mama kusa?
Ooh, wow.
See, James, you were getting on me for what I said.
Next topic.
I can't take y'all nowhere. Y'all,
ma'am, you started this.
I know. I am a black people. I can't take me nowhere neither. That's how you know we love you, is if we clown the crap out of you.
Oh my God.
It's all in love. Yeah. Unless you're Kanye. Then we just talk dirty.
Oh my goodness. So here's the crux of a lot of discussion for the evening. WNBA.
Yes.
Whew. So the season is roughly 3-4 weeks old. Everybody's played about 11, 12 games. As of right now, the Connecticut Sun have the best record in the league. They just took their first loss on Sunday to the New York Liberty. The Vegas Aces, two-time defending champion, are struggling right now at 5-5.
Who they lose to mess up their chemistry?
Nobody. Candace Parker retired, who didn't even play last year.
I don't know. She might have been bringing some black girl magic to the bench. I mean, you know, never know.
My old Washington Mystics are 0-11.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, I am claiming my Washington Mystics. They are 0-11.
No. Y'all finally won a game. Now you're 1-12.
Wait, who we beat and when?
I have to go look it up. I don't know, but I've got this. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick.
Nah, I need to know. No, pause. Stop the brakes. Who we beat? Oh my gosh, we have a win. When did this happen? Oh my gosh, we beat somebody. When?
You beat Atlanta.
It was
No. I was just about to ask how Atlanta was doing.
We're 5-5.
Sorry, I didn't want to go there, but They beat Atlanta.
They beat Atlanta by 19 last night. Yay!
Just like a little kid. You look just
Miracles
like
exist.
Wowzers.
All right, so we're 1-12 now. Yay! 1 win.
Yay!
We still ain't making the playoffs.
No.
But
you didn't let the rest of the teams run to Boston on y'all.
I mean,
so, got 1 win.
It was close. We stopped the Boston. We did stop the Boston. If you have not been watching the league, to say that it is exciting is an understatement for various reasons. We can go any number of directions here. Again, I already mentioned the Connecticut Sun with their record, the Aces. Asia Wilson is balling her butt off right now, averaging a double-double. Had a string of, I think, 6 or 7 double-doubles in a row. No other player in league history has done that. She is by far and away the top candidate for league MVP. The rookies are showing out. Cameron Brink is leading all rookies in blocks. Reese is leading all rookies in rebounds. Caitlin Clark is leading all rookies in scoring with 16 per game.
Isn't she also leading in turnovers?
She is also, no, she's leading the league in turnovers, not just rookies.
Okay, come on, give her flowers.
She is leading all rookies. He brought it up.
She didn't do it to us. She didn't do it to us. It was these media people that are doing it to us.
It is the media's fault. It is
dividing
the media's fault.
Dividing us.
I feel
want to play basketball.
Well, hold on. I will give her flowers. She is leading all rookies in assists as well. So I will say that. However, the good comes with the bad. And while the media is pushing her on a pedestal that she has not yet earned, to say that there's dysfunction amongst her current team is an understatement, because she was caught on a hot mic. Well, I won't say a hot mic, but she was caught running over to her coach during a game saying, "They're not catching my passes," because the coaches are typically mic'd up during the game, during timeouts or whatever. And as she's coming off the floor during the timeout, she's running to the couch. "They're not catching my passes. They're missing my passes. I don't understand what's going on, whatever." Between
how about
that,
you talk to your team instead of running to the coach?
Look,
She's
between that and the way the New York Liberty, I don't know.
That's like old boy who said that Michael Vick throw too hard. What's his name? That's why he didn't catch the ball, because Michael Vick throws too hard.
We don't know his name.
That could be anybody on the Falcons squad that year.
Never mind.
Could have been anybody.
Could have been anybody. But I will say this, that the media has put her up higher than she deserves to be at this point. And yes, I know one team she doesn't want to see ever again this season, but she still has to play them one more time, is the New York Liberty, because the Liberty have been beating the Fever by an average of 20 points a game. And in two of the three games that they've played, she's been run into a backside pick, and no one's called it out.
That part. Your team should be calling that pick to stop you from ending up on the floor. The fact that they're not, to me, says a lot.
So, I mean, that's
an easy screen to call.
So they still got to play the Liberty one more time.
Welcome to New York. Yeah.
But
Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal player. I mean, if you think about the things that she accomplished to even be drafted into the WNBA, she's doing what she's supposed to do. Unfortunately, both sides have picked her as a poster child for different things, and they're not allowing her to just matriculate through her rookie year. Let the girl be. Leave her alone. Right. And if she does something worth a highlight it. If she doesn't, highlight somebody else, which I think has been the story that a lot of people are saying, is like, there's a whole lot of players out here. She ain't the only one.
She ain't the only one.
I'm really irritated with the people that are trying to cry foul because she didn't get picked for the Olympic team. There's no rookies on the Olympic team.
We're getting to that next, but we're
okay. My bad.
Yeah. But trust me, that's a whole separate issue from.
Well, you said WNBA.
Look, you know what? Let's just go ahead, because I mean we're going to bounce back and forth. Yes, and I'm going to actually show the roster right now. The 12 women who made the team. Where is it? So here we are. The 12 women who made the 2024 Olympic team: Nafisa Collier, Kalia Cooper, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Sabrina Ionesco, Jewel Lloyd.
Brittany Griner, welcome back, baby girl. Glad to see you.
Chelsea Plum, Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, Alyssa Thomas, Asia Wilson, Jackie Young. All right. So those are the 12 players
Who's
who make up the roster.
Those
are the coaches.
Oh, okay. But so if you, I mean, you don't have to put it up again, but that roster is not, there's nothing unusual or atypical or unexpected about that. They got the best players from across the league who had enough maturity and seasoning to play well with people they don't normally play with, which is another thing about not putting a rookie on your team. They don't have the experience to be able to pick up and play with people that they played against all these past few years. So I don't think the NBA sent rookies.
Well, no. So the NBA has sent rookies, but one of the things that's different though is the Olympics happened during the off season for the NBA, and it's just during a break for the WNBA. So there's no real time for them to practice together. I think they.
Well, no, there's a 5-week break. 5-week break in the middle of the season for the WNBA because of an Olympic year, and that's why they started so early. Remember, when the season started, so you have just take the rookie class, right? They went from those whose teams made the tournament, played as far as they went in the tournament, whatever, some up to the championship game, which was Sunday or Tuesday night, whenever it was. And then roughly 10 days later, WNBA draft. And 2.5 weeks after the draft, regular season started. So there was no time to adjust to the league. And I understand that. And to Joy's point, you have the media on both sides pumping up one player, one way or the other, as the poster child for all of women's basketball. Right. And you have, look, I give her some grace. Yes, she has had no downtime to adjust. None of these rookies have. All of the rookies that I've lauded, from Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, Aaliyah Edwards for Washington, they are all struggling. In fact, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are the only rookies averaging double figures in points. They're the only two. So the rest of the top 10 is like 8, 7, 5 points per game. Granted, if they
left off the bus,
time,
right?
So in a typical WNBA calendar, the season would start roughly around late July, early August. That's when the season would start. But because it's an Olympic year, they started 6 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
So we take that into account. Now, to those who say, well, rookies have made the Olympic team before, yes, you're right. And those 3 rookies, Diana Taurasi in 2004, Candace Parker in 2008, and Brianna Stewart in 2012. 2016. The difference between those 3 rookies and Caitlin Clark is that when they came out, yes, they were undeniably the best player coming out in college the years they came out, but they were also one of the top players at their respective positions in the WNBA their rookie year. Remember, Candace Parker won not only Rookie of the Year, but League MVP as well. And helped them get to the Western Conference Finals.
So the Olympics for them came at the end of their rookie year where they had already proven themselves. They had a whole year. Okay. So how did they get MVP of the league when they ain't been in the league but a few weeks?
No. He said she just went on to be
on to win league MVP and Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
So yes, now for Stewart and Parker, there were breaks. When Taurasi made it, yes, it was probably the way they probably moved the season around the Olympics to start later. And she was able to play her whole rookie season either after or before the Olympics, depending on how it played out that year in 2004. because the league was still kind of young then. And I know it's changed since as far as how the schedule is when league play begins, because league play has not always been the way it is now, ending in like October.
You know, in light of that, because I didn't know that they had rookies before, the people that are mad that she wasn't on the roster got a point. It's not like it's unprecedented, but it just may be that she's not the best right now. So
that part, because again, like I said, those three women, Taurasi, Parker, and Stewart, were literally among the best at their position. Like there was no argument. All of them finished either 1 or 2 in Rookie of the Year voting. Breonna Stewart actually was like top 2 in Defensive Player of the Year her rookie season. Taurasi won Rookie of the Year. Hell, Taurasi's the only one of the 3 who didn't even make the playoffs her rookie season. Parker got her LA Sparks to the Western Conference Finals. Breonna Stewart got the Seattle Storm into the playoffs.
So they coming out like LeBron, like just gonna be the best out of high school. No, like they just undeniably, you got to see it. You'd be stupid not to. It's no comparison.
There was no question, and not to say that they were just the best on the team. No, they were amongst the best in the league across the entire league.
And the same can be said for Caitlin. Yeah, right. Doesn't mean that she might not be phenomenal next year. Let her get her feet under her. Let her mature into her team so they catch her passes. And in 4 years, going up there, going to the Olympics then. You be all right.
And look, I'm not trying to go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I'll put it to you this way: to rank players, according to ESPN right now, she's not even in the top 25.
Caitlin's not in the top 25?
She is not. So who are you going to kick off that Olympic team with a justified reason to put Caitlin Clark in? And she's not even in the top 25.
Because
she's not the only one that's deserving. Yeah. So yeah.
Exactly.
And if you put her on the team, what are you going to do? Christian Laettner her? Let's be real. We remember Dream Team, right? They put Laettner on the team. Does anybody remember Christian Laettner actually playing with Dream Team? He
did, but not in any meaningful minutes.
That part.
Because remember, they had Shaq and Christian Laettner on that team.
No, they chose Christian Laettner over Shaq. Yes.
Yo, I'm sorry. You're right. They did. But yeah, he played no meaningful minutes.
I mean, games.
We don't need to send somebody to the Olympics for show. Don't nobody else care. Yeah. And let's not forget the gap in performance between the NBA and other national teams is a little bit bigger than the gap between the WNBA and other national players. And so competition is a little bit fierce. You definitely want to send the NBA treats the Olympics like something fun to do on weekend. Who's free? Pickup game in London. Let's go. So
different. In the beginning, yes, but I mean the world's been closing the gap. They've struggled the last couple of Olympics to win.
This is they weren't practicing. They had to step their game up. Act like you care. Yeah.
So I will say this with the women's game, because I watch women's basketball in the Olympics. I don't care what time it is. I go to sleep early, set an alarm, wake up 2, 3 a.m., watch the game, go back to sleep. I have watched all their games for the last 4 or 5 Olympics. You look, the gap is closing mainly because the WNBA has a short season. They only play 40 games now, and that's up from what they used to play when the league started. Because when it started, I think they played maybe 25-ish games was the season. And that was when it was an 8-team league. It is a 12-team league now, soon going to be 14 next year. So the schedule is probably going to expand. But as of right now, as a 12-team league, they're playing 40 games each.
Who's getting a team?
Toronto and who was the other place getting a team? I want to say Frisco.
Yes. Golden State.
Yes, San Francisco. So Golden State, Valkyrie, and I forgot what the Toronto team is going to be called. But I think Toronto's the other franchise. Ferris, can you verify that for me?
Checking it now, yeah.
But last thing I'll say about Caitlin Clark, and this is, I never knock her talent. I was always concerned about her going from college to the WNBA anyway because of two glaring issues I saw with her game the 2 years she basically took college by storm. She drifts left when she's going to pull up for three. It's just a tell. She just does. Anybody who studies the game and watches it sees that in her game. If she's at the arc and she starts drifting left, she's going to pull for three. That's an easy tell. The second thing is she's not physical. And that's the problem. And that was more
maybe that's why they letting her get hit like that.
Well, and that's what I said was going to happen on this level, which is what's happening right now. The WNBA is more physical than anything she went through in her career at Iowa in the Big Ten, because the Big Ten is not a physical basketball league as far as women's basketball goes. Yes, you're playing powerhouses like Ohio State, Michigan State, whatever have you. None of those schools are physical. The ACC in women's basketball is physical. The SEC in women's basketball is physical.
They're going to bring a little bit more of that and one to the game.
Which is why she struggled to win those two championship games against LSU and South Carolina, respectively, in back-to-back years, because they literally beat her up or bodied her the entire game to make her uncomfortable. Leading up to that, teams just pretty much let her run around screens, do her little Steph Curry impersonation, shoot deep, no contact on her whatsoever. The championship games against LSU and South Carolina,
they was throwing bows.
Not even throwing bows, just, hi, I'm your new best friend. I'm going to be riding your hip pocket 94 feet up and down the court.
Every time you take a breath, you're going to feel me on your back.
Yep. Right.
And that's the thing. Once she becomes comfortable with a more physical game and becomes a more physical player, she will definitely be top 25 material. But right now, she can't handle the physical game.
And we're seeing that right now in the WNBA. Now, imagine this. On the Olympic level, because the officials, I don't care what anyone says, the officials are biased against all American teams, especially in sports that we dominate.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Right? So
they would let her get kicked in the face and be like, I ain't seen nothing.
When I say the women's team, and look, internationally, commentators want to say the USA women have a rivalry with Australia because that's probably the biggest competition as far as basketball goes. I've watched the last 6 or so contests between women's basketball team and Australia's women's basketball team. Physical is an understatement. If anybody's seen the movie Bloodsport, Kumite.
Yes. Kumite. Let me tell you something about Australia. I don't know a lot about the team. I know about the country. Australia is trying to kill you. The entire country is full of animals, insects, water, bacteria, all the things that want you to die. And so anybody that's raised in an environment that is actively trying to kill them from birth, they're going to be hardcore. You don't want to mess with Australia.
And to the Toronto WNBA team, they currently don't have a name yet. They're just listed as the Toronto WNBA team.
Lady Raptors.
So, Lady Raptors. But yes, those are the two teams that'll be added next year to the league. So it'll be a 14-team league at that point. I don't know if they're going to expand beyond 40 games, but there you have it.
They should, right? Just to add them in the rotation, at least up to maybe 48 or so, something like that.
Possibly. We'll find out when the season ends, and because that's probably one of the things they're working on right now behind the scenes. And after this season crowns a champion in the offseason, they'll dot the I's and cross the T's and all of that, and we'll know probably by January.
And once they figure out their TV deal and all that revenue sharing and that, because I wholeheartedly believe if they can get either more or better TV deals, we'll get more games.
Yeah. And if you haven't been, for the audience out there, if you haven't been to a WNBA game, it is so much fun. It's a ball. They got they got the same thing, the halftime show, the cheerleaders, etc. But the game itself is more intense. I found myself like watching with bated breath as I was at a Dream game and they were going down to like overtime. I was like, I mean, I had more fun watching that than I did any breakaway game in the WNBA in the NBA where we just watched dunks at this point. It was a lot of fun. And I'm loving the fact that we have reached the point where we're starting to have personalities. Okay, so here's my blurb about authenticity always winning out. when the league first started, it was very much being shaped into what men thought women's basketball should look like on a professional level, down to the uniforms, down to the way they wore their hair, everything, and to the demureness of the players. Like, well, you know, just play a little girl ball. And then as you started getting more and more players, be like, no, bump all that. I'm about to do me. And being more authentic. Now you're starting to get personalities. I would posit that on the Aces, what's the name? Asia Wilson is the prime time of the WNBA right now, without the all the negative stuff. Like she's fun to watch, she's fun to listen to. She's got a great sense of humor. She's great on and off screen. I love the fact that she was announcing something and stopped on live TV to be like, Lil Wayne is talking to me. Hang on real quick. No, I ain't doing nothing right now. What's up? Yo. It was wild. But it's funny. It's viral. Right. And it is appealing to a generation that doesn't have any bias against women in sports. So I love the way this is taken off. And I mean, if Caitlin can bring more eyes to the game, I'm all for that. I just also want to remember that there's a whole lot of other people that are also bringing more eyes to the game, because the reason I'm paying attention is because of that stunt that Asia pulled with Usher, because I thought that was hilarious, you know? And the more things we can do like that, the more we humanize them and let them be themselves. Yep. Like right now, again, with this younger generation, there's some TikTok reels going on about a couple of girls that used to date each other that are now on different pro teams, and how it was still a little bit of, hey, don't hit my girl stuff going on in the court. They're like, yo, this is Young and the Restless out here. Like, that's fun and interesting to you ain't do that with the NBA.
Yes. They were teammates. One of them got traded. She took a hard foul. Her ex came on and was like, hey, don't do that. Don't do that.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. I think that's great, you know? Hats off to everybody that is bringing eyes to the WNBA, because I think that they give them another 5 years, and I think we'll have a lot more bigger venues as well, you know?
Yes. Because I will say this. I'm watching at least 3 games a week. Doesn't matter who's playing. I'm looking at 3 games a week. I don't care if it's on ION, NBA TV, ESPN2, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, wherever I can catch the game. I'm watching 3 a week, without fail. So
hell, I'm trying to go to more games this year.
You know, and I think Atlanta's playing Chicago tomorrow night.
In Atlanta or in Chicago?
In Atlanta. Speaking of trying to go to a game, I believe Chicago's in town tomorrow night to play Atlanta. Candaysee, I think you had a topic relating to WNBA for the evening.
I didn't.
You did?
My topic was related to the the USA gymnastics team.
Oh, the gymnastics team. You know what?
You said pick a topic that wasn't.
No, I just said pick a topic.
Oh, I thought you said not Maine. Okay.
Sorry. Just to throw this out there, they're playing Indiana tomorrow night.
Who is?
The Dream.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one that's at Phillips.
That game is sold out, and they moved.
That game is sold out. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to get to that one.
You know, but I just wanted to throw that out there since we were talking about who they're going to play. So that's going to be an interesting game to watch.
Yeah, I've had the privilege of meeting several members of the Dream. Them girls rough. In the best possible way. In the best possible way. I mean that with all respect. With all respect. As in saying, a lot of times I size up other women like, yeah, I can take her. I'm looking at them like, yes, ma'am. How you doing? I don't know smoke with you.
But yeah,
I really want to see that the rookie, the pick that they took from Ole Miss. I can't remember her name, but she's nice. I can't remember her name, but anyway, she's on the Dream. I heard she was balling, but I actually haven't seen a Dream game except for, I think yesterday we were watching the Mystics, and then when they played the Liberty, I had to watch that. But
of course you had to watch Liberty.
Yeah, I did. And then I don't even think I watched the whole thing, to be honest, but we were winning. We were like beating them so bad. It was
You don't stop watching the game early. You never know what can happen.
I don't remember what I was doing, because I feel like it was a day. You know, I'm always all over the place, so I feel like I was like somewhere where it wasn't like I was just sitting at home like I'm going to watch this game, but it just happened to be on because it was the dream. Because when you're in Atlanta, no matter where you are, they will play an Atlanta team. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be cricket, and they'll show it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Redan High School Marching Band. They're going to show something.
But yeah, so I'll just say this. No one got snubbed for the women's Olympic basketball team roster. These are literally the 12 best players in the league. And you can't make a case for taking anybody off this roster right now.
You know what I'm also thinking? Because there are a lot of people that don't follow Olympic sports as well as WNBA and may still be, like I mentioned earlier, I was like, oh, the gap is like, because my thought process is still back in the 90s and early 2000s when we first formed the dream teams and stuff, and they were whooping people without even trying, you know, Shaq out there alone versus 5 other dudes. Like, you know, I'm exaggerating again, but if that is the memory that you have crystallized, then in your mind, it's okay to send your B squad, your junior varsity, because it's just a game, you know, we're so much better than the rest of the world. That is no longer the case. So now you do have to send your best players if you want to bring home gold. And I don't know that people have recognized that the rest of the world is caught up to us in these sports, you know? That might also be fueling that. Why didn't you just let her play? Hey, bro, we're trying to win a gold.
That part.
We're sending our best players. Yeah.
And there are loud mouths out there talking about, but you want marketability so you can put out.
No.
Those who watch the games will watch the games.
He's getting on my nerves. He's getting on my damn nerves.
It's not just him. I know who you're talking about. I'm not gonna say his name, but
I know.
He's not the only one. But what I know you had a women's USA basketball team topic. Did we cover it already, or?
Yeah, we pretty much covered it. Just to just blatantly say it, my topic was going to be all of the foolishness and shenanigans surrounding Caitlin Clark and her not being on the women's Olympic basketball team.
Yeah, we covered that.
We
got that. So yeah, Watch the WNBA. The All-Star game this year will be Team USA versus Team WNBA. So, and the WNBA All-Star team will be a composite of 50% fan vote, 25% player vote, 25% media vote. So already you know one player who's definitely going to make team in WNBA because her fans who basically started watching basketball 5 minutes ago, and of course Indiana Fever fans will definitely vote her in to that roster. Whether she starts or not is up to the coaches who get picked for the team. So that's how Team WNBA will be formed, through voting, which starts tomorrow and goes through July 2nd. So if you want to see your favorite players who didn't make the USA roster play on Team WNBA, vote. Also vote in about, what month is this?
Vote in November.
Vote 5 months from now too. Not just for the big office, all your little local stuff as well. That's more important than the big one.
The folks who's putting your cousins in jail, local, vote.
Oh, you know what? No, I'm gonna shut up because this isn't a politics show.
Yeah, I don't want to segue. But Candaysee, since Olympics, gymnastics.
So no, my story was gonna be just I think it's more quote unquote entertainment, but Jordan Childs, who is going to be going to the Olympic team trials with Simone Biles and all the rest, has just been she was getting ridiculed a little bit about her outfits because they were Beyonce inspired. And so if you look her up, she's got all her outfits look like outfits that Beyonce wore on her tour. So that was my little tidbit away from sports because, you know, I love gymnastics. I love to watch it. I love the Olympics. I love it all. But that was it. It wasn't like a big thing. It was just a little quote unquote entertainment thing. You about to look for the picture, aren't you?
I'm definitely looking for these images of Jordan Childs. Because I mean,
I was gonna say type in Jordan Childs, probably Jordan Childs Beyonce, and it'll.
I don't see what the problem is.
And we all pause to look.
There wasn't it wasn't like there was a problem. It was just the fact that they were giving her a hard time. Because if you think about it, with gymnasts, they normally are they're not as flat. So ice skaters are a little more flashy with their outfits, and gymnasts are normally not as flashy. But she's just, her last couple of times have been super.
I see. Yes.
Put a ring on it, all the things. So
I gotta say, she does a good job of recreating a lot of Beyonce's looks.
I'm looking at two of these right now and like, wow.
So wait a minute.
Yeah, whoever her stylist is, or whoever it is that makes her stuff has really done a really good job with it.
They did that. That's great.
You know how they do whenever we wear something, whenever a female wears something, it's always
ever since FloJo,
right? Right.
So Serena's outfits always issue at Wimbledon and the French Open.
Serena's outfits that were life-saving because they were compression tights.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen, y'all can kiss.
Joy. It's so funny because I want to say your name because I love your name because it's Joy, and it's like
makes you happy.
Joy.
I am happy. I'm real happy.
I know you are. It's just I'll be like, Joy.
I'm happy. I'm just wild. I'm in my say anything phase. You know, that's what makes me happy right now. Is just being out of pocket, especially on this show.
I want you to be as happy as you possibly can. But the reason why I'm saying Joy is not just because I want to say it's because it's your name, but because Joy.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to be as out of pocket as you want to be.
You are an enabler.
Especially on
You are
this
an
show.
enabler. You are an enabler. Furious.
Mm-hmm. He is the devil on my back. Like he's not even on my shoulder. He just need to do it. Say it. I double dog dare you to say it out loud, Joy.
You don't even need a double dog dare.
The one that should be on the other shoulder with the halo and the wings, he's tied up in a closet somewhere.
I ain't seen him in years.
I'm about to say, I don't think that one exists. I don't think that one exists anymore.
I don't know about
Whatever.
that.
It's like I told somebody before, I said, the devil on my shoulder is like, do it. And the angel's like, I mean, yes, do it. So the angel is not helping.
But yes, Candaysee, I am an enabler. You are absolutely right.
I know.
You still can't
as
have
Magneto was right.
And what was that last part, Candaysee? I didn't hear you.
As Magneto was right. I was just
Magneto was right.
Well, Magneto was right. But that's not this show. But
Magneto was right too. Yes.
That's not this show.
Oh gosh. Anything else that anyone would like to cover before we get out of here? Surprisingly short today.
I know, praise God, because we didn't have to rant on any Dallas Cowboy or any we didn't have to rant on any of that.
Profanity will not be tolerated on this show.
Huh? What?
No profanity on this show.
Who's his team, Candaysee?
I know, but I'm just saying we didn't have to rant.
The profane language is not necessary, ma'am.
Dallas.
The devil on my shoulder.
You kiss your mama with that mouth.
Cowboys.
Come on, James.
Dallas Cowboys.
Fry, Eagle, fry. Come on.
Oh, wow. Really?
So, wow. Okay. I'm so sorry. I did that because I brought it up and then she had to come and do the things.
I had to.
Here. And
the devil said, do it.
And so at 1 hour and 4 minutes and counting, we are now going to say thank you so much, everyone, for watching the podcast today. And the fact that there weren't as many shenanigans today, we do apologize. Next month, we will come with all the shenanigans. So
we arbitrarily stretch it out and talk about the NFL.
There's nothing to talk about with the NFL right
now. I know,
that's
what I said arbitrarily.
Yes, so there is nothing. And thank you. You take it away, James.
Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, was a freedom then, when they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No regard for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if we put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course. Cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No regard for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.